Hello there. Welcome to Radiant Souls, and this is how I got here to where I am and see what resonates with you. So, if you had told me 10 years ago that I would be a business owner putting all my eggs in this basket because it felt right, I would have either laughed or had a complete panic attack, more likely a panic attack, knowing me. But in the last 10 years, I have completely changed. I'm not the same person at all. Or should I say, I have become more the person I truly am instead of the masks I was putting on to please others, right? I am a recovering people pleaser. So a few years ago, it started with learning my birth chart. So my midheaven, what points you kind of towards your career, your vocation in this life, um, is in Pisces. And okay, sure, I've always been a spiritual person. More on that in other episodes, but that's cute, but whatever. I have this awful but secure job that pays the bills and then some. And I value security over excitement. At least that's what I thought I was supposed to value, right? So then I started practicing my spirituality a little more in different ways and exercising my intuitive muscle more regularly. I learned tarot more in depth, and I continued to develop my own rituals at home. And in doing that, tried to focus less on the right way of doing it and more of just what felt right, just going with what felt right in my heart. And, I practiced around the lunar and solar calendars. So, when the sun moves into a new solar sign like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, or when the moon is at its full or its new phase, I would do some sort of ritual or some sort of meditation, but not because I worshiped the moon or the sun, but these seasons were reminders of all the different aspects of my whole self that I wanted to grow and evolve. Because remember, each of those signs has different attributes and different traits. They're different archetypes of the human experience. Um, so tarot led to energy healing techniques. I was already a Reiki master and have been since, I don't know, 2012, maybe 2012. Um, and then I started to learn other techniques and other modalities, and I really committed to different workshops and classes and trainings over a few years, and even went to some conferences as well. So I kind of became more and more fulfilled, and I became less and less satisfied with my current position. And by that, I mean like just position in life, career, job, also home life, awkward, and just the general daily purpose of why I was living my life. I started to feel not lost because I was finding myself, but not aligned. It was not aligned. So the biggest theme that came through was that I have always dimmed my light for others. That was through a lack of self-love and putting myself down. But through these practices in healings, I realized I needed to stop dimming that light. That light is divine. That light is me. That light is my soul. So for me, dimming my light looked like not speaking up when I'm hurt, not expressing my needs, not setting boundaries, and not sticking to them when I do set them, putting energy into what had to be done or what I should be doing instead of what I actually wanted to do, what felt right in the moment, what felt good and nourishing to me. And the worst part was I would punish myself for my emotions. Like, oh, I feel this way. I'm a bad person. I'm mad at this person. That makes me bad. That makes it wrong. I feel anger and frustration with people I love. That makes me a bad person. I should love them. I should accept them for no matter what. I should accept me no matter what. Blah, 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 blah. All the shitting on myself. So what I came to realize one day, I was just laying in bed and I'm like, wait a minute, my big emotions, they're a superpower, not a problem. All this social anxiety I used to have, I went to years of therapy for. And sure, I got better. I went on medication for it. Sure, it helped. But my social anxiety, I realized wasn't an illness. It was actually an energetic reaction to all the emotions of everyone in my area, in the area I was in, especially in group, like unstructured group things where everyone's feeling kind of nervous. I was feeling that it's so intensely, and it was shooting my anxiety through the roof. And so, I perceived this as a threat, just normal body biological response, perceiving that as a threat rather than connection with other people. And I learned that I could control that connection, kind of like, a dam. Like, I'm just going to let a little of the water through, or you can open the floodgates and let it all in. And that's kind of what was happening. And I learned to control that flow of energy. So, eventually, I came to the truth with a capital T, and the truth was that my soul chose to shine in this lifetime, not dim itself. I'm here to shine, as are all of you. Um, so I came here to be a light for others, um, especially to help those who kind of are going through the same thing, who are feeling what I'm feeling. Because if we can, the more we can connect, I know the more that, I can even learn from you, you can learn from me. So, I felt called to awaken and be there to help others awaken. And not just as some side thing for fun, but no, this is my purpose. So I'm going to make it my business. I'm going to make it my entire life. So, if this resonates with you, I want you to know that you and me, we are not a list of diagnoses that needs tools or that we need to stop doing things, need to stop. And listen, I was also a mental health professional. I'm not saying that every single mental health diagnosis that we've received is unfounded and it's BS. No, like there are definitely certain things that we need therapy, we need medication, for a time. Some things might be helpful, some not. But I'm just speaking on my social anxiety specifically. So yeah, I am not a list of diagnoses in this regard, that needed these tools to stop things from happening or stop what I was feeling. What I needed was just to be set free and to embrace it. And, the irony of letting all the emotions in, um, it just led to me being able to learn that they're just emotions. They're just information. It's just information. And I can choose to do with it and how much of it I receive whenever I want. So now I don't always feel obligated to go somewhere when people ask me because I'm like, nope, you know what? I've let the flood in enough. I'm closing the floodgates for the rest of this weekend. And I know that about me. I got to know me better. So, my first dabble in starting a business was a couple years ago, just to make it a little fun, some tarot reading, some energy healing here and there. It didn't have legs, it didn't have structure. And that was fine. I wasn't really looking to be like doing this 40 hours a week, but then 2025 happened. So this became one of the most transformational years for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, because in numerology, it's a 9 year, which is a lot of endings, because after nine, we go back to one. And then it was also a snake year. And what do snakes do when they start to outgrow their skin? They shed. So lots of sheddings. That's a lot of changes, a lot of getting rid of things, a lot of transformational moments, a lot of breaking up with people, breaking up with jobs, that kind of thing. So I sure did plenty of that. But in that stripping away, I learned to love me and love who I am. So the more I shed, the more I got to the core of me. which has been fun. It's not been easy, but it's been fun. And I really am learning to love who I am. So I found a life coach certification program called Wholehearted Coaching. And this would be the foundation and structure I needed to build on. So, um, when I found this program, it was perfect. The philosophy of the course centers around decolonizing. So that's removing that colonial idealistic or that colonial ideology, that capitalistic ideology of what life is supposed to look like, what you should be doing. If you do X, Y, and Z, you will be successful and you must do it quickly. Everything is urgent. And it was for specific ideals and people that looked a certain way, behaved a certain way, right? It was not a one size fits all, and it definitely benefited a certain class of people while exploiting others. Okay. So my soul recognized this program, this energy that was being put, like being human and divine at the same time, and everything else, any other garbage information we're receiving was made up to control or exploit me. So I am human and I am divine, and everything is rooted in love. That's where I start. Whenever I'm faced with something that I have to make a decision or I'm struggling, I start there. Remember, I am human. Remember, I'm divine. The humanity of me is experiencing fear and has lots of thoughts and emotions. And the divine part of me is peaceful and will allow me to use my intuition to get the answers I need, to hear the information from within that I need to hear and act from there. So, again, all the other information saying you have to make a decision right now. The offer's on the table, you have to make it right now. No, I don't. No, I don't. I can walk away from this because you're telling me it's urgent. I'm not comfortable making a decision right now. I can walk away from this. If it's meant for me, it will always come back to me. Okay? That's just how life works. So here it is, radiant souls, all of us shining together. Um, I felt it coming for years, co-creating it with the universe. I had to make changes in my life, to make space for it, and I sure did that. I have taken major risks, um, but each time I've done that, as painful as they were, as scary as they were, it still felt absolutely aligned and correct. And I still felt that inner peace while there was chaos and I could see my mind racing. I was the witness of seeing everything happening and just knowing this isn't going to last forever. I'm at peace with this decision. When the dust settles, I will see that I made the right choice. And each time that I've listened to my intuition, that has been true. Now, I still struggle every now and then, especially when faced with major things that scare me or get me down. I still struggle, but then I remember I am human and I am divine, and I start from base level and work my way back up. We all do this all our lives. I don't care how well practiced a spiritual mentor, energetic healer is, they all have to do this. So I am so grateful for all my mentors and all my healers throughout, and I am so excited to be on this journey, and I am so excited to meet you. So please, if what I'm talking about resonates, have a look at my website, weareradiantsouls.com. I have a blog that is the written version of these videos that I'm doing, as well as some products that you can download for purchase. And of course, my, kind of bread and butter, looking at the coaching packages and seeing, is there a transformational moment in your life that you would like to talk to someone about? Do you need a little helper? Someone who may have experienced or been through this. So take a look and, set up a connection call with me. Until then, keep shining.